everybody, and welcome to the Is It Kino Halloween special. That's right, it's Spooktober final day, and we're all here to talk about perhaps the spookiest movie of the year. And no, that is not a racial joke about the main character. I am Simian Jimmy, joined as always by Eggy Eggman Spook Rodriguez.
Oh, I tell you, I was feeling the chills after watching this movie, no doubt about that.
And Erich Mick Spooky.
Great name. Hello, boils and ghouls.
Oh my god, I think our puns are on par with the puns in the film. Today we're talking about a movie that I sincerely hope none of the people in the audience have ever heard of, and I'm not even going to say that they shouldn't see it though, because maybe by the end they'll want to go see it for themselves. But long ago, Eggy and I were at the movie theater, and they played a trailer for this film called Monster High the Movie, a film that I must say is not even in theaters. I don't know why the trailer is playing at the movie theater. It's a straight-to Paramount Plus streaming movie, and it looks as cheap as you would expect for a straight-to, children's movies straight to streaming. And for some reason we're watching it for our Halloween special. Boys, what did you think of Monster High the movie?
Well, I'm a huge collector. I collect basically everything that I see. And so when the Monster High line of dollies came out, I just had to have every single one of them. My huge Monster High collection is sitting right next to me.
Now, which of the Monster High girls has been your waifu your whole life?
Fuck, I forget her name now. Claudia?
Is that the main character?
I don't fucking know. Okay. Claudia. Whatever. Yeah, all my faves are right there.
What about you, Eggy?
Dracula is obviously superior. She looks like an e-girl, and she's a vampire, which all women are.
Fuck you. Frankenstein forever. Fuck you.
Speaking of Frankenstein, well, let's go ahead. Let's recap a little bit here. So basically, the reason why me and Jimmy decided that this would be a film that we definitely had to see is that the trailer, which aired in theaters before the Gru movie.
That's right.
It's a very chopped up trailer, but one part of it is this character Frankie Stein. Who is canonically Jewish in the film. She comes in and she's like, hey, my pronouns are they, them. And then the main character is like, oh, my pronouns are she, her. So we're like...
Yeah, we see this. They put the pronoun stuff in the trailer. The trailer also looks extremely cheap. Like the fashion line, the dolls that this is based on, it's meant to be like a fashion thing, like, collect all the cool outfits. The costumes in the movie were like very cheap and ugly. Like the effects were as bad as a Neil Breen movie. Like this trailer is so horrendously cheap and horrible that Eggy and I knew we had to watch it. But, spoiler alert, in the context of the film, the they, them, pronouns thing is actually funny because this is the Frankenstein person. So she's like, her body is made out of the corpses of both men and women. So
they're literally a they.
Yeah, it's like literally a they. And I found out after watching the movie that the actress who plays the they, them Frankenstein is now trans, came out as a man this year.
Wow.
So, the sequel is writing itself.
Maybe being in Monster High awakened something in him, and he decided, oh, I'm a man.
Yeah, it must be. And I found like a modern day photo, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from. You do look a lot more feminine as a creepy monster in the film than you do as a human.
Well, there was a standout line in the original, because it's a musical. Each song is about like 2 minutes long and highly processed. I don't think that any of the people that were involved in this film are going to be the next big musical superstars at this rate. But the Frankie Stein character in the first musical number, it just has this very standout line where she's just like, I feel, or it's something along the lines of like, real monsters are my family. And it's something that's like very, even though that's like a theme throughout the movie that, this is actually the monster ethno state and they want to exterminate all non-monsters.
Oh, we'll get to that.
They talk about their bloodline and everything, but I don't know, for some reason it just like, it doesn't, if you listen to that musical number, which I don't encourage anybody to do, for some reason it just really sticks out. So I don't know, that character was just off. She got a little bit more comfortable, I think, throughout the film, but just for some reason she was kind of particularly off-putting initially for me.
And Eggy is not being facetious here. Like, there are very much like these Nazi undertones to the film. Like, all of the monster characters do want to exterminate and Holocaust every human on the planet, and they even sing a whole song about it.
Yeah, and they are very adamant about it as well. Like, whenever it's brought up, they're like, no, humans are inferior. They should be kept out.
And it's even the plot of the movie. Like, our main character is the werewolf girl who is secretly half human. You know, her dad, who looks like, I guess, like Gus Fring mixed with Gomi.
Oscar from The Office.
Yeah, something like that. He's like a human. I guess the mom's a full-blooded monster who died. And if they find out that she's half human, she's going to be crucified by these monsters. Yeah. So the plot of the film is that this mixed race girl is trying to create a magic potion that will make her, you know, full-blooded, full-hearted master race monster. So as soon as that was the plot of the movie, I found myself enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. But to circle back to Erich choosing the Frankenstein girl as his waifu, the three main characters, we have the wolf girl, the Frankenstein girl, and the vampire girl, and we learn that the wolf girl is 15 years old, the Frankenstein girl is 15 days old, and the vampire is 15,000 years
all right. So let's think about this. If every one of her body parts is however old the original host person was, then she could be hundreds of years old.
Fuck sickos, YouTube.
My question is, why is the 15,000-year-old girl still in high school? Is she getting held back, or is she like tormented to do this until she turns 18,000?
I think she's so stupid that she has to repeatedly go through Monster High.
Well, Erich, you're actually wrong. There's a scene, and by the way, this vampire girl is played by an Asian girl, so I think they might have thrown some racism into the film. Because Asian vampire is like Skyping with her dad, like, you know, Harry Potter style, like talking into a portrait that comes to life and you can talk to, you know, whoever. And the dad is saying, you know, oh, you got a 92% on that test? That's basically an F. So, you know, very Asian parent stereotype. But clearly she can't be that dumb if she's getting a 92.
I feel like this movie is essentially just Harry Potter mixed with Hotel Transylvania.
Specifically Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, like plot point for plot point. It's just stealing completely. Yeah,
and it's like the school itself is like telling them like somebody in here is a half-blood or
we have bloody messages appearing on the walls of the school warning them about the main character of the movie. We have like a location on campus that students are forbidden from going to. You know, instead of the haunted forest in Harry Potter, here we have the haunted graveyard, which my question is, why does a high school need a graveyard? I get it's Monster High and it's supposed to be spooky, but how many students are dying at this school that they need a whole separate graveyard just for this campus?
Maybe that's like built in, that's like a feature of the school, is that if you die on campus, you just come back to life as a zombie and then you continue your studies.
Oh, that would be helpful.
We do see that at a point where, you know, that's like a slur to say like, oh, you're looking very lively today. And they're like, what did you just say, Chud? And they're like, oh, I mean, and also very undead. Thank you. So maybe, maybe they're like sleeping out there in the graveyard or something. It's inclusive accommodations.
And now that we've given a brief overview, should we go through this movie from beginning to end, you know, just in case anybody's dying to know what's going on?
Dying to get in.
Yes, exactly. Very strange opening. We have the main girl who's still in the human world. She has not crossed into the portal of Monster High yet. She's trying to get into Monster High, but she's like at a skate park, and we see, you know, all these humans hanging out at the skate park, and then suddenly, werewolf girl comes in on her skateboard, crashes into somebody, falls over. Everybody sees this interaction. They look at her. They see that she has wolf ears on top of her head and like fangs, and they start freaking out. And she says, "Oh, that's my cue," and she runs away. Now, am I the only one who feels like they're taking crazy pills watching this? Why did you go to the skate park? Like, what's happening?
Every 3 minutes of this movie, I basically had to stop it, reorient myself, figure out what the fuck was going on, and like it was even worse when they started breaking into song. because I did not know that there would be a musical movie. So
I'd say you were shocked.
Fuck. People are fucking singing "Oh shit."
But what is the logic here? So you look like a werewolf monster, and you go out into public, and you go to a public skate park, and then when people see what you look like and they freak out, you run away? Like, what was her plan here? She wasn't trying to disguise herself, you know? Like, even if she didn't crash into that boy, surely somebody would have noticed her.
Personally, like, today is the best time for Claudine to exist. She looks like a furry. She looks like someone who could have a fursona that includes being a werewolf girl. So I think that she should hang out with more furries, and she'd have no problem.
Yeah,
Eggy.
I agree. Because I mean, she has like the cotton candy dyed hair. She obviously, being a teenager, she's out there skateboarding. I think there's, I'm pretty sure I see people that look like this when I just walk outside, and I could react how the other people in the skate park reacted, but then I might be canceled for being a chud and not accepting alternative lifestyles. So in 2022, I'm following my great president's example and being very inclusive minded for people of all backgrounds.
Every single person at the skate park is like in a rage, chasing after her. And I don't think humans know about the monster component of this world. So could it be they just like formed an angry mob to lynch an actual furry? Like they think that this is just, some sicko.
That's the only thing that makes any sense.
Yeah. She runs home, or I guess skateboards home, and we get, the Neil Breen special effect of she jumps up onto her second story balcony, and they basically just like took a freeze frame of a JPEG of the character and like just moved it up really fast. And then she's standing on the second story. It was jarring, but I guess special effects are not cheap.
It's got that PS1 FMV CGI quality. There's another part in the movie where it's like just like two frames that are like tweened together. And to be honest, I don't know. Most people would say it's completely cheap and it was just done because they're way too lazy to do anything else. But I can appreciate a little bit of an aesthetic difference from the status quo.
Yeah, I like it when you can tell nobody making the movie gave a single shit about it. It really adds to the kino aesthetic of it.
I mean, if you're looking for a bad movie, this is definitely one of those.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's that bad, because by the end, I was applauding and cheering, mostly for the twist villain, but, we'll get there. She goes down to her human dad, and he says he made her favorite food. Can either of you remember what her favorite food is? Because I did write it down.
Not for $1 million, could I tell you?
Eggy, do you have a guess? And I think this might have to go on the next Wheel of Cursed Meals.
It's some tofu shit, right?
It's
tofu something.
Tofu jalapeno casserole with extra almonds.
Olives. No, it was extra olives, yeah.
Olives?
Yeah.
I thought he said almonds.
No, it was olives, yeah. I do remember that now.
Well, my question is that some sort of werewolf pun or joke, or did they just make up something disgusting sounding?
I'm gonna say it was just something nasty because obviously this man. I mean, okay, literally, we just did the Wheel of Cursed Meals 5. We baked a cake. How hard was it to bake a cake? I've never really baked a cake before. It took no ability whatsoever to do it. And this guy could not make a cake. So obviously, the joke is that he's mentally dilapidated in the culinary department.
Yeah, but it sounds like she really enjoys this meal. So
It's insane. That sounds.
Yeah, well, she really enjoys having her hair with like a worn out cotton candy dye when obviously that's not swagged out. If I was a sassy gay man that knew about fashion, I would probably snap my fingers and say that that's not busting for real.
Yeah, and she's also wearing just like a horrendously fake wig because her normal human ears cannot be seen in the movie because her fake wolf ears on top are supposed to be her only ears. So at no point in the movie can you ever see the side of her head. Like they have to keep her ears hidden by this giant wig at all times. But she wants to go to Monster High, and she submits an application, completely lies about her background. Oh yeah, both my parents are monsters. Don't worry about it. Don't look into it. She gets accepted. Her father, he's a little, scared about the idea, because Monster High, it's pretty scary. But ultimately, she does go, and that's when we break into the first musical number, Erich. Did I miss anything in between these scenes?
If you did, I could not tell you that you missed anything.
She goes through like a horrible green screen portal to enter the monster dimension, I guess.
Yeah, the effects are all around pretty good. Although I somehow like got used to the like level of production that this movie offers up, and it stopped bothering me. But yeah, this musical number made me have to reassess what I thought this movie was, because I thought it was just going to be one of those like regular Nickelodeon live action movie things that they do occasionally, but then they started singing, and it is the most bland, generic pop garbage trash that people are listening to nowadays. It's very bad.
Yeah, you fucked up when the best song in your movie is the Jekyll and Hyde song, and it's, in my opinion, only the third best Jekyll and Hyde song in existence, behind, of course, number one being the Arthur Jekyll and Hyde song. I hope both of you have heard that before, because it is true kino. And the second best being the Five-Finger Death Punch song about being Jekyll and Hyde. So if your best song is only the third best Jekyll and Hyde song, you need to get better songwriters.
It's probably fourth best because there was a Jekyll and Hyde musical that was pretty all right.
Oh, well. Shit, yeah.
Yep,
so it's probably like 18th best, because that musical probably has a lot of numbers in it.
Yep. Well, I gotta say, I mean, that was also my favorite song in the movie because, basically, the teachers advocating ethnic cleansing, and yes. all the students are like, get them gone, exterminate them all. We gotta make sure that there's not one left. So I did get up and start dancing around the room when that one was going on. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it was all pretty. It's that grocery store music because it's a Nickelodeon, so it's like you can't. The only other like musical for children that I really have ever remembered watching was High School Musical, which like I think they actually won awards for the music, and this one absolutely is not that. It's just grocery store music with forgettable quote unquote stars that they can't even make the screen anymore. They can only make a streaming service, and so that whole element, the meta element there, of these children's hopes and dreams surely being crushed before they could ever even begin to blossom by being put at the lowest tier of, cinema, if you could even call it that, to try and start, where they're going to be at in this industry. That meta component of that just kind of adds a little something to it for me, makes it a little Lynchian, a little Grinchian, and
very Grinchian.
Gives it a little extra flavor.
I have several questions about this whole production.
Well, okay, I'll answer them all because I'm an expert in Monster High.
Perfect. Was this made for streaming, or was this ported to streaming when they decided it wasn't like gonna fly on Nickelodeon or whatever?
When they saw one look at it and said, "Oh no, we can't put this in theaters. Just throw it up on fucking Paramount Plus. Nobody's gonna watch this shit." Mm-hmm. And even the fans of Monster High, because I did my Letterboxd review and I read the other ones, and like the people this movie was made for, the lifelong Monster High fans, they are pissed. Evidently, every character has been ruined. They said somebody was whitewashed. The zombie character is supposed to be the valedictorian, and the joke is that she cannot speak English. Like, she just mumbles, But in this movie, she's speaking just fine. So all the characters, that they know and love have been changed in terrible ways that, us three would not have picked up on, which is probably why we probably enjoyed this movie more than the intended fan base.
Not having any, connection to the property or anything, I thought it was perfectly fine. I didn't have problems with the casting. The Wikipedia page for this movie is hilarious because clearly someone who's very into Monster High got on and edited the wiki page because they just put all of the petty fandom gripes about the movie into the fucking page. It's hilarious.
Is that allowed on Wikipedia? Writing your opinion on the casting?
It's only allowed if it's the Monster High page where I don't think the Wikipedia editors are going to check that page is upholding all of the best standards of Wikipedia. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that Jimmy, whatever his name is, who keeps begging me for $3, he probably does not give a shit about the Monster High the movie page. What other questions did you have, Erich?
Is this supposed to be a series of movies, or is it supposed to kick off a TV show?
Well, I'm hoping there's going to be a sequel, because it does end on a major cliffhanger that promises more genocide. So, I'm all about that. But I'm guessing they will not do a sequel because I don't know how successful a straight-to-streaming movie can be. I don't think anybody's signing up for Paramount Plus to watch this other than you, Erich, who I think literally did do that.
I want to quote from the Wikipedia page for Monster High here. Many disabled, nonverbal, and autistic fans have not taken nicely to making Ghoulia able to talk and getting rid of her limp.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
Disliked Frankie being non-binary. Many of these casting choices people have mentioned could have gone to new characters or using pre-existing Asian and Latina characters such as Skeleta Calaveras, Jennifer Long, Kiyomi Haunterly, Yuna Batsy Claro, and Marisol Coxey, with many people seeing it as lazy. And with many people, like, it's hilariously written.
I want to say, with all those characters being mentioned, in that beginning scene where she enters the Monster High before the first musical number, it introduces numerous characters who I guess are from this IP, and none of them are memorable at any amount.
For a single second,
they're there for that scene, and you're like, oh, that guy, he does this. Oh, this is that. Okay. And I think some of them do reoccur later on in the film, but besides those, if they're not putting them in your face and saying this is this and this is what's going on, they're completely unimportant and completely forgetful. They seem to have no real personality at all.
Oh, I don't know about that, Eggy. I think a few characters stuck out to me. Like the head of the school is the head mistress, and the joke is that her head just comes off. So she's
headless.
She's like carrying her head around. Yeah, the head mistress. And, the school teacher, like Hitler Jr. over here, almost quite literally, spoiler alert, with like the horns. I liked him from the beginning before I even knew the twist. But yeah, I guess everybody else, like all the students, kind of blend together. There's like the hothead who's his hair is like made of fire, and when he farts, like steam or smoke comes out of his head.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was just thinking, somebody get this hothead out of here.
Can somebody tell me what the fuck? So Deuce is the kid who is Medusa's out. Yeah,
he's like a Medusa son. Yeah.
I answered my own fucking.
Yeah, his hair is like snakes.
Medusa,
and he can turn people into stone. Usually Medusa makes me hard, but now I guess it's his job.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Gorgon for Medusa instead, but Deuce. I see. Okay.
There's 80% of the movie, other than the genocide stuff and the trying to become racially pure stuff, is just the laziest puns you can think of.
Yeah.
These are like freshmen in high school, but their textbooks are for terrifying trigonometry, which, I don't know about you guys, but in all 4 years of high school, I did not take trigonometry, let alone the terrifying variant of it.
Yeah, that subject is already terrifying enough to me.
Yeah, it's redundant on that cover at this point. We don't really need that alliteration to bring it home. They're also like out in the yard, they're playing catch with like a human foot, and they're saying, "Oh, pass me the football." Okay.
Doesn't even make sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense? It makes sense to me. They're playing it with it like it's a ball and it's a foot, so it's a football. Erich, what are you missing?
Well, speaking of disabled autistic characters, I just took geometry every single year in high school because I was in special education, and as the target audience, as a disabled autistic person, I think they definitely should have had that mumbling, limping zombie be some character. I think that would have been funny because I would have laughed at the character, so they could have put that one in.
Why did you take geometry every semester? How do you even swing that?
Because I was in special ed, and they're like, "Well, you're still in special education. Here you go, and we're just gonna put you in this corner, and just when you stop drooling, let us know, and we'll pick you back up for the next class."
Yeah, when Eggy says he took geometry, he was still stuck on like figuring out which shapes are which. So like,
where is which one?
Yeah, he was a senior, and he's like, "Okay, I think I got the triangle and the square figured out, but this circle, is driving me nuts."
I'm pretty sure I had to take. I think when I went to college, which I did go for 2 years, I think they offered like algebra or something like in college, which was like also available in high school. I don't know. Maybe it's just the American school system, but it is what it is.
Your final exam was the block with the different shapes that you have to like put the right shape into.
Yeah, his peer, his other student next to him is like a newborn baby doing the same thing perfectly, and like Eggy's copying off of him on the test.
Hey, listen, I'm very fortunate that podcasting became a thing when I became a grown man, because now, I still have an avenue in life to do things.
That's right. Podcasting is the job for people who can't do anything else. So that's why us three are here. This movie commits a sin that I hate in movies about school, which is every class is exactly 5 minutes long. Like, all the students come in, they sing a song about genociding the humans, and then the bell rings. Like, okay, I've never been in a class that first of all, the teacher has never had a lesson plan so long that it made it to the bell. And second of all, you guys just walked in. Like, are the classes really 5 minutes here? What's going on? They don't know how to transition to the next scene without just ending class.
Some of them maybe are like speed learners, or are so developmentally advanced. They're like big brains. They're like the leader, that they can just get through the class in 5 minutes.
Well, I guess if you're learning through song, you'll probably retain the information a lot more because it's so catchy. Like, genocide every human.
Oh shit! Maybe the fucking songs are like, that's how they teach kids.
It must be, because it's
like mandatory.
Right when she walks into the school, every student knows the song that she's making up, and they all know how to dance to it. So they probably learn everything through song at the school.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, I want to go to this ghoul school now. Let's see. My notes just say humans deserve to be killed.
Man, I hope the FBI doesn't find your fucking notes for this movie. They're gonna.
No, I mean, I also want to just make a note here, because obviously there's plenty of racial tones in the film already, but the main character, her human dad, is obviously an African American man, and when she turns more human, her hair becomes more voluminous, more curly. Her eyes become browner than they were. I was kind of picking up on this whole maybe thing that they were saying that, maybe there was even deeper, sort of racial things being implied here. But, I mean, there really isn't any more that needs to be said in the film, because they're pretty clear about, maintaining their pure monstrous bloodlines. Some might put that an allegory to the Aryan bloodline, but I don't know, I might have been reading into it a little bit too much, but either way.
I think you read that into a lot of movies.
To go back to what Eggy was saying about her turning back like to full human, I guess when she gets really scared or like really emotional, all of her monster features retract, and like her fangs just become teeth, and her ears, they go away. Which is kind of weird, right? What are we to make of this? When you are code switching, sometimes you're in a situation where it's better to be one part of your ethnic background than the other, so that'll go away. Is that what they're going for?
That's got to be it. I can't see it any other way.
That makes sense to me.
We should explore the lore of the Genocide All the Humans song, because the teacher, the history teacher with the horns, he's telling us about how there used to be a student who was Mr. Hyde, this famous Jekyll and Hyde novel, and Hyde is like the evil one after the guy drinks the potion, and then he switches back and forth between, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And Mr. Hyde was trying to create a potion that would, like a new potion that makes him exclusively Mr. Hyde. He'll never have to become a human again. He's only the monster forever. And that is what our main character is trying to do. She's trying to find this secret potion so that she'll never have to be part human again. And it turns out it's hidden somewhere in this spooky graveyard that the students are forbidden from going to. And they have to, I guess, make some other potion to be able to put their hand on a rock to open the secret passageway. It's that you need to be human in order to unlock the thing, okay.
Right?
So why did she need to make a potion out of ogre bone and all this dumb shit when she can just revert back to a human at any time?
I think she has to be in like a certain condition to turn into human. Like it's when she's like afraid or something.
Yeah, why not just get spooked a little bit and then?
I don't
40 minutes of the movie could have been cut out.
Yeah, she hadn't found that out yet, so I think that's why. But
they were just like, I think this sounds like a great idea that we have no reason to believe this is going to work. Let's just do it. And then, it's the whole arc of the film. Then it's like, oh, nope, that wasn't it. It was this instead. And anyways, let's continue.
Yeah, the movie's only 90 minutes and half of the plot you could cut out. Like, it's just a waste of time. One point, she realizes, I don't belong here. The fact that I'm half human is tearing the school apart. And she, leaves Monster High and then returns less than 1 minute later. Her friends just follow her and say, hey, no, you should come back. And she says, okay. So we waste some time doing that. Should we just go to the end now? Am I missing anything? Was there anything in the bulk of this movie that we really need to discuss?
Well, no, but maybe also perhaps because, this is a thing maybe we didn't touch on. The whole thing about this potion, the Asian vampire girl, she secretly is practicing witchcraft, which is extremely forbidden. It's horrible. They hate it. And so maybe that was part of maybe they sought after making that potion so she could continue doing her witchcraft. I think it's kind of like an allegory for maybe her sexuality or something, or her gender, or I don't know, whatever Nickelodeon is type of time they're on these days, that she's not supposed to explore it, but using their manipulative tactics to kind of get behind the scenes and do the little tricks and the little stunts to get all the potion ingredients to practice her magical witchcraft spells. I don't know, there might be something there, but I'm not too familiar with Monster High lore, so it's just 2 cents that I gleaned.
I don't understand why witchcraft is so hated by them. Is it that humanity can get magic powers and become more monstrous? Is that why they hate it?
Well, you would think that a place called Monster High School would teach witchcraft. That should be a course at the school. And evidently, in the cartoon, it is. So that's another thing they changed in the movie.
So they just changed it. Okay.
Yeah, now it's forbidden. Speaking of copying Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, there's they do a polyjuice potion scene where the main character becomes the headmistress for a little bit, and wacky hijinks ensue.
I must have been checked out during that part because
you missed that whole part. That was a 5-minute scene.
I must have. I was so fucking just overcome watching this whole thing. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, okay, let's jump to the ending, and this is when the movie really gripped me, because they she turns into a human for a bit, puts her hand on the wall, it opens up the secret passage, so now she can go get this magic Mr. Hyde potion, but uh-oh! It turns out the history teacher who, sang the genocide song with the class, he is the son of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I guess the two of them copulated and, somehow Hyde got pregnant is how I have to assume.
Who was it that got the woman pregnant? Was it Dr. Jekyll or was it Mr. Hyde?
I assume it was a threesome.
Yeah.
But his plan... Oh, go ahead, Eggy.
This is, that's all correct. And so the Mr. Hyde, he was executed by the monsters for being a half-blood and not being a true monster. But he was still a high school student. So does this mean that was one of the students, much like what happens in the American school system with these female teachers, from what I hear, did this female teacher kind of come on to Mr. Hyde when she should not have? And did she, what was going on there? I don't know. Maybe he got killed later on. I'm not sure if they commented on that.
Yeah, I did not even
groomed.
I did not put those pieces together, Eggy. But this is the son of Mr. Hyde. But if Mr. Hyde was killed while being a student at this high school, something weird's going on.
Holy fuck! This movie is fucked up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, now I'm really scared. But the twist is, Mr. Hyde was my father, and since all these monsters hate humans and they're indoctrinating them, even though I'm the one who literally did that in this film, my secret plan is to take this potion that will make me the ultimate evil monster, and I'm going to genocide every motherfucking monster on Earth. And he becomes, a big scary dude, and he's got bigger horns, and he can absorb other monsters' superpowers and use them against them. And when he's giving his speech about how he's getting revenge for his dad and he's going to kill all the monsters, I legitimately was clapping and standing up and cheering and hoping he would succeed, because I did not see this twist coming, and I thought it was awesome.
I saw it coming because he's the only character that could fill that role within the movie, right?
I guess so. You clearly have a larger mind than me, that you could see all the plot twists of Monster High the movie coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking that she was going to drink the potion and be like, I'm racially pure now, and all the monsters would start Roman saluting.
Should have been Roman saluting.
What? Roman saluting?
Yeah, that's where the Nazis got it from, Erich.
Well, I mean, if they're 15,000 years old, then they definitely lived through the Roman Empire, so they probably picked it up at that point, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dang.
And it's just a coincidence that some other people stole that. But no, he's like, he starts genociding a little bit. He takes the Medusa power and, makes the guy turn into stone. And ultimately, the day is saved when the main character holds up her cell phone and like has it on the selfie camera so he can see himself. And I guess just seeing himself in the image of the phone is enough to activate the Gorgon power, and he accidentally turns himself into stone.
So that's the part of that Greek tale, is that Perseus holds the shield up to Medusa to show her own reflection and freeze her. They never mention that within the movie, do they?
Not that I can recall. Maybe they expect they expect the 8-year-olds to know all the lore.
Yeah,
of these
I guess
monsters.
it's so weird because like I feel like they need to let the audience know that that's the deal with Gorgons. I mean, I guess with Deuce, he's always wearing those glasses, so he doesn't turn people into stone.
Right.
But yeah, you'd really think that they have to explain that to kids, because otherwise, I don't think kids have heard about the fucking Greek tales.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Monster High the movie.
Clearly, I mean, Erich was predicting everything in the film. I don't even know how he enjoyed it when he read the scripts or something. He knew what was going to happen. I'm obviously
the most high IQ.
Well, I would agree with that for sure. I mean, me and Eggy were both in special ed. Mm-hmm. You were probably teaching that class.
Yeah, that's the reason I quit teaching. You guys were so fucking...
Erich, as a former teacher, what did you think of the representation of the school and teaching within the film?
I would not want to teach in this school.
Why not?
Because they're all monsters, but because there doesn't really seem to be a curriculum that they're teaching. It's literally just racial purity that they're teaching at the school.
You wouldn't want to teach that through song.
No. Also, I can't sing to save my life. So
well, some of the actors in the movie can't either, and that didn't stop them.
Yeah, it doesn't stop them from auto-tuning it to shit and having them sing the most generic shit possible.
Well, since the main character murdered her teacher and saved the day, every monster in the world decides they're no longer racist, and they don't mind that she's half human, and they even let her dad come visit the school. And racism has been cured through
Has it really, or are they just cool with half-bloods now?
Well, they let her dad in the school. Like, that would not have flown. The vampire Dracula was, like, gonna eat him, but he's like, oh, no, I love humans now.
So, yeah, I didn't buy this ending. I don't think such institutional hatred can just suddenly be solved and eviscerated.
Well, we know that there's at least one racist left, because the post-credit scene is, I guess, like was it a witch or somebody? They're like, oh,
I think it was a witch.
Yeah, it's time to murder every vampire on Earth. Woo! And then smash cut to credits, I guess. So I'm looking forward to the vampire genocide in the next one.
I would like that, because I didn't like any of the vampire characters in this movie.
Wow.
Dracula, I don't understand.
You didn't like the Asian girl, dude? Well, didn't you say
no,
that? I guess Frankenstein was your wife. Well, never mind.
Yeah, Frankenstein was my my fave.
But happy ending, they have a whole song about I'm gonna be me and I'm myself, and if you don't like it, you can suck my monster dick. And I had tears in my eyes. What a powerful message. You don't need to try to take a potion to become the master race. You should accept yourself for the mutt that you are.
That's right.
Yeah. So
I think we can all learn a valuable lesson from this.
I certainly did. Do you guys have any other thoughts? We went through the whole movie, probably skipped a few key scenes that don't matter.
We skipped Cleo, the not vampire, fucking mummy girl, which she doesn't really have any mummy qualities.
No, they keep saying she has mummy issues, which I guess is like a pun on daddy issues, but no, does not work.
I guess. Yeah, so many that it's really just the main three girls are the characters in this Dracula.
And that's all I need. I only need 3 girls. Any more would be, just a waste.
But I got the sense that the Cleo character was almost a kind of bully, but not really. And then at the end, Frankie Stein is kind of friends with her. It's kind of weird. How did you guys like? I liked Frankie the most. So her high five thing where she rubs her hands together, I thought was funny.
Dog whistling, but no. Frank E. Stein, the canonically Jewish character made of multiple human body parts rubbing her hands together. I think Nickelodeon needs to check their privilege. But anyways, she did grow on me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I felt she was a little bit
don't
grating,
you mean he?
I'm sorry. No, I mean they, them.
Hey, fuck!
Do you guys remember those old honeycomb commercials where they would CGI people with a giant mouth? And they say, you can only eat honeycomb cereal if you have the world's largest mouth. They, them, Frankenstein, her mouth is that big in the movie. Like, I was shocked. Like, she has giant mouth and her teeth. I don't know if they made her teeth yellow and kind of rotten for the movie or if that's just what the actor looks like. But everybody else had, like, perfect white teeth.
If my waifu is a they, them, are they a they-fu? What the fuck?
I mean, now it's a husbando.
If it's a rotting pile of animated flesh, you know what? It's good enough for me.
Hell yeah.
Would you guys recommend anybody watch this movie as a good bad movie, a bad movie, or even a movie you kind of like?
I'd say it's good bad enough. It's bright, it's colorful. If like your kid is either special or enjoys Monster High already, they'll probably like it. Unless they're
Erich, nobody listening to this has kids. I mean, for the 30-year-old neckbeard incel in our audience, which is most of the listeners of this podcast, should they seek out the Monster High film featuring a bunch of teenage girls?
I don't feel like I can recommend it to any of your audience in good faith, thinking what they'll do.
I would recommend it above approaching an actual high school of teenage girls.
Yeah, if this is the thing that stops you from acting on your impulses, then absolutely.
Doctors should prescribe this film to pedophiles, is what you're saying.
Yes.
To temper their, I gave this movie 2.5 stars on Letterboxd.
Out of 5?
Yeah, out of 5.
Wow, I probably would have given it 2.
It's better than Bros, and I gave Bros 2 stars. So.
Oh, you saw Bros?
Oh, Eggy and I saw Bros together, alone in the theater.
God. Wow. You were the Bros.
Literally, I saw Bros with my bro. And Eggy, would you agree Monster High is a better film than Bros?
I mean, to be honest,
Bros did not have a song about how genocide is cool and awesome,
That's true. Okay, yeah, I'll give it that. I would probably agree with your ratings in regards to those films.
Bros had 3 gay orgies. This movie had like 5 pretty shitty songs, which is worse?
I mean, I think sensorily speaking, what my eyes and ears are taking in, the grocery store music and the 3 men sucking each other's cocks was probably about the same level of offensive.
Do we have any final thoughts on Monster High, the movie?
This is a very replacement level kids programming, tween kind of programming. Kids that are into the high school kind of shit, like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, that kind of shit. If they're younger than that audience, they'll probably like Monster High well enough. It's just full of puns and somewhat, I don't even know if you can call it progressive. It's very racist in the espousing the tenets of whatever the fuck they're talking about in this movie.
Oh, you didn't like the Asian girl getting berated for only getting a 92% on her quiz?
Yeah, I couldn't tell that she was Asian, I guess. So I didn't really get that. She was a Dracula to me. So
her father is just a straight up white guy in Dracula costume, and I guess he must have an Asian wife or something.
They didn't play up enough of that stuff to make it interesting to me. So it's not particularly good at doing anything well. So it's a 2-star. Do not recommend unless, as we were saying earlier,
unless you're a pedophile.
Being a pedophile actively. If this is pedophile kryptonite, then go for it.
Kryptonite? I don't think it would hurt them. I mean, I think it would give them great pleasure, Erich.
It strips them of their power, though.
I mean, I guess so. If the main villain guy, when he's absorbing everybody's superpowers, if he did that to you guys, what powers would he get? Eggy, I guess he would be able to eat anything on Earth and be just fine.
He could drink a lot of liquor. Yeah, that's true.
What about you, Erich?
He would become a Star Wars fan and he'd get very sad.
Oh. What's got you sad? Is Andor not as good as you thought?
Oh, actually, fuck. Andor is fucking great. It's just everything else kind of sucks.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my final thought on the film would be it's a lot more based and red-pilled than I thought it would be going in. I was not expecting the children's film to be about, again, racial genocide and a whole song and dance about how it's great. Like, legitimately kino. I would advise people to look up that song and then go listen to the Jekyll and Hyde song from the Arthur cartoon, because it is much better. And then don't watch the rest of the movie. 2.5 stars.
I was so mystified as to why you had me watch this.
Because me and Eggy saw we saw pronoun shit in the trailer.
Yeah.
And one person texted him saying we should watch it, so we had to.
Right.
Do you guys have anything you want to plug on this great Halloween episode?
Eggy, you can go first.
Well, to all the parents in the audience, which there are many, make sure you're being very careful with the children's candy this year. You can look us up in the Northeast, I think it was, of the U.S. They recently had a 17,000 pill bust. They're making these opioid pills, and they're designing them to look like candy. So make sure you're being very vigilant with your children's candy this year, that you're not accidentally giving them a lot of fentanyl, because that's not good for them. Other than that, I just want to make that PSA to all the many parents in the audience. Thank you.
Yeah, if you do find rainbow fentanyl in your children's candy, you can send that to P.O. Box 473, Ames, Iowa, zip code 50010. I'll make sure that they get disposed of properly.
That's right.
In my mouth. What about you, Erich?
Jack Chester's.
I guess if you're the man who played the Frankenstein girl in this movie, I'll have Erich's phone number in the description. So hit him up.
Hit me up, please. Wait, he's of age, right?
I have to imagine. I think all these actors are like 19 or 20.
All right.
What was that I just heard? A sigh of relief.
If you want to hit me up on Twitter at TZARREVAN, come talk to me about Nick Weiger's Monster Fuck song, which I listen to every Halloween. There's like 7 versions of them. It's hilarious.
And my Halloween song recommendation will be Too Spooky For Me, where it's like a children's song. It's not meant to be a meme. And he says, there's a bat and a rat. It's much too spooky for me. Great song. Happy Halloween, everybody. See you next year.
Is the song just lists of things that aren't really even that spooky?
Oh, things that like a 4-year-old would think is spooky during Halloween season.
Damn.
There's a jack-o'-lantern, and the curtain moved. Ooh, it's much too spooky for me. It's a great song. It goes on for like 5 minutes, and he's just listing things and then sings the chorus again.
Hell yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, peace.